After most recent PlayStation 5 Pro reveal, a lot of people are discussing whether or not Xbox should produce their own Pro console. So was Xbox not having that Pro model right now a good or bad idea on their part? Let's look into it. But first, let's check Iniba.com. They offer games for Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo and PC, and as always they've got a ton of games on sale, like God of War Ragnarok is coming to PC right now, so you can buy it right now, or you can still grab Space Marine 2, fantastic game by the way. But let's check that God of War Ragnarok sale over here. So there's this version for Europe, or actually there's a global one as well, so let's check it out. That's the cheapest option over here, 46.21. so let's pre-order because it's coming out tomorrow, and obviously you can proceed to checkout, or you can go back and add some more games to the cart, but let's proceed to checkout. And all you have to do now is just select a payment of your choice, and that's it, you're done, guys. Iniba.com, guys, check the link in the description of this video below. Alright guys, so let's talk about Xbox Series X Pro, I guess. There's a lot of chatter online right now whether or not Microsoft is doing the right thing, not producing that, you know, Pro console or upgraded console, right? And I guess, as always with things, we will have to wait and see when it comes to like PlayStation 5 Pro. I mean, I know that there's a lot of criticism towards that price, mainly the price of the console, but tech-wise, you know, it's going to be an interesting, you know, piece of tech for sure. For those of you that are chasing better graphics, right? Because that's what this console is going to be all about, right? Some games will run a little bit better when it comes to performance, sure, but for the most part, you're going to get similar kind of performance as on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X for that matter, right? So it's all about the graphics. So the question is Microsoft not chasing that Pro model a good or bad idea? And I guess it all depends where you sit, right? So I guess from PlayStation perspective, having that Pro model actually makes more sense because they've got a very successful PlayStation 5. They sold over 60 million of that console, and you know, they're doing great when it comes to console sales, right? And PlayStation 5 Pro is just basically an addition for those of you that have money and you want just better. And let's face it, the most demanding games on these consoles are actually delivering a mixed results when it comes to performance and graphics, image quality sometimes. We've seen that with many games so far. You've got games that may actually run great when it comes to frame rate, but then they would offer, you know, worse graphics or poor image quality. I'm not going to be naming those games right now, but like, you know, for me, for example, Alan Wake, big example, Alan Wake, right? A fantastic game, great performance on Xbox Series X, for example, but image quality wasn't really that great. On PlayStation, you know, basically you had, you know, poor image quality and poor performance. So PlayStation 5 Pro will actually fix that for PlayStation gamers, right? I mean, and but when it comes to Xbox, I mean, they are in a totally different place right now, and I think they are chasing a little bit different market as well, but they've got different goals, right? PlayStation whole business model is revolving around PlayStation as a console, right? Yes, they are expanding to different platforms like PC and mobile, and you know, they've got streaming service as well, but they are not investing in these other markets as much as Xbox do, right? And obviously some people will say, well, it's all because Microsoft lost the console war, and they did. Let's face it, right? I mean, I don't think Xbox will ever beat PlayStation when it comes to number of consoles sold. But hey, that's the nature of business. Like, if you failed in something, try something different. And Microsoft is trying to something different. Whether or not they will succeed, we'll have to wait and see, obviously, as always with these things. But yeah, they've got a bit different strategy. And also remember that Xbox already have 2 consoles on the market. They've got Xbox Series S and X, right? So if they were to add another SKU on top of that, developers would not be happy about it, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say is that Xbox Series X for now is good enough, especially if Xbox is really planning to release next console in 2 years, so around late 2026. So if that's true, it makes sense to skip the Pro model and just focus on the next-gen console, right? So, I mean, obviously there's these rumors suggesting that Xbox will want to be first to the market when it comes to like next gen, and apparently that new console is supposed to be really next gen, not only tech wise, more power and faster CPU, more memory, but also OS is supposed to be a bit different. I mean, totally different apparently. There's going to be some, well, I guess I don't even know how to call it, better synchronization with PC, or they talk about that hybrid, but we still don't know what that really is going to be. Sarah Bond, she's responsible for hardware side of things at Xbox, so she's talking about the biggest leap in console, Xbox console history, but it's just a marketing speech. And I'm sure that they will focus more on machine learning and that kind of stuff. Like, to be honest with you, I'm actually very curious whether developers will finally start using those features next gen. I'm sure what kind of features I'm talking about. There's been so much talk about it, but it is what it is. And so for Microsoft, it makes little sense to invest in a Pro model, especially that Xbox Series X is actually doing quite all right now when it comes to both performance and image quality. I think the only thing that Microsoft should really do, in my opinion, is to really do something about that machine learning image reconstruction, right? I mean, they've been promising that for like years now. Like, we are like 4 years into this generation and still nothing. And they rely on AMD technology and AMD software. I'm talking about FSR, and that's it. So I'm actually curious. I would love to know whether or not the FSR 4 is going to be available on consoles, because if the answer is yes, that may actually fix that issue for Microsoft. But still, it just goes to show how, I don't even know how to name it, how underutilized this console is, even by Microsoft. They've promised so many things and they still haven't really delivered. I mean, and that's the problem with Xbox Series X these days. It's a great console, very powerful, very capable, but a lot of developers just don't care to use some of these features and, that capability, right? That's the problem, right? And, even me, I was kind of, joking about PlayStation 5 capabilities at the very beginning of this generation, or especially before that generation started, looking at the, spreadsheets and, specs and stuff. But in reality, what Sony did, basically making stuff much easier for developers to use, was actually a smarter decision than just packing all that new technology in the box and having no developers use it, right? So I'm just saying, right? But going back to the Pro model, yeah, I mean, right now it makes no sense. I think Microsoft should really focus on games, and I think that, by the way, I'm not sure if you noticed, but like Xbox sales actually picked up a little bit recently with Call of Duty and like these announcements lately. Like Xbox is going to have a really good next couple of months when it comes to game releases, because we're going to have Starfield's Shattered Space September 30th, so like literally 2 weeks time, and then Stalker 2 and Call of Duty and Indiana Jones, and obviously don't forget all these Xbox Game Pass games. So next couple of months are going to be very, very well packed when it comes to first party content. I wonder if, I'm still hoping that they will announce something during the TGA, no, not Tokyo Game Show, TGS, sorry. So hopefully maybe there's going to be some surprises, maybe one of those Final Fantasy games going to be announced for Xbox. Not necessarily saying that they would come, they would launch this year still, but that would add a little bit hype to the whole thing. So genuinely speaking, Pro model is not really necessary for Xbox right now. They need to focus on making sure that developers are utilizing Xbox Series X to its full potential, and and obviously delivering great games, and that will sell the console. And I'm not even thinking about like outselling PlayStation 5 overall, but just making Xbox more relevant as a console, really, right? So guys, that's the video, I guess. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.